this is Jeannie Carey from Trendy, and today we're going to make a Thanksgiving wreath. We have this really cute little turkey sign, and it's kind of a chocolate, copper, silver colored. It's made out of MDF. We're going to use that on the wreath. We're going to use a 24-inch burlap pencil wreath. A 24-inch pencil wreath.
2 RE1301N8.
That is chocolate with copper foil.
A C1640207.
It's a really pretty silver and kind of a cream off-white ribbon.
RG1279C2.
Just a lovely shade of cream.
Nice shade off-white. And an X743609-51.
I like this one. Oh, it's stiff. Charcoal ribbon. This is 1.5 inches. The other ones are 2.5. One more roll.
ZXPTT01.
This is a faux burlap, and we'll have those numbers written down for you too. And this pencil wreath is, you got the number over there. Oh, I've got it right here.
XX7504W4.
Okay. So, we're going to start out. The first thing we're going to do is cut our mesh. And we're going to cut our mesh in 30-inch pieces. I'm going to flip that over.
Okay, to keep it from rolling.
30-inch strips. We watched Lori, hard-working mom. She has a video out there. And typically, in the past, we have cut our mesh 10 inches in length. Here I'm about to cut a 10-inch. And she cut her mesh in 30-inch strips to help reduce the raveling, and it does help. Some mesh, though, is a little bit thick when you cut a 30-inch strip, so sometimes we cut 2 15s, but we've just about stopped using 3 of the 10-inch.
It's a lot less ruffling.
Right. We'll get all this cut. You're going to need, it takes, on a 24-inch wreath, it takes more than a roll, but it doesn't take all of that second roll. I believe I could turn it over with just doing it like this.
Okay. It rolls better that way.
It does. We're using a fiskars 60mm cutting stick. We don't sell those on the website. All of these products come from our website, Trendy, but we don't sell the cutter, and we don't sell this cutting mat. They're both very good tools to use. You can cut 2 or 3 layers of mesh at a time.
Looked away, you better be ready.
Sharp, sharp, sharp. And you can get blades for this cutter too. Now, we've been using the same cutter for a while, and I think we've put 1 new blade in it. Of course, we're not making wreaths every day either. We're pretty much filling orders every day. You could, after we get finished with it, take that turkey sign off and turn it into something for Christmas.
I think that's the last cut.
Okay. So 16 cuts. So first we're going to get our mat out of the way. But there we go. Get the wreath. And this is a 24-inch pencil wreath. Our 24-inch pencil wreath measures 15 inches across the widest wire. Now, with the addition of the mesh, ribbons, and so forth, you wind up with a finished product that's 24 inches or greater. So, to make our ruffle, just let it roll up, kind of work from the top side of the mesh, and just scrunch right up through the center. Just scrunch it up, just gather it.
An accordion fold.
Well, the accordion fold is fold.
True. Yeah.
It's not.
Never mind. Not an accordion fold.
It's a scrunch. Open up a twist. We're going to start on the outer ring. And it does make for a kind of a bulky handful, but now we did a test wreath just a few minutes ago, and we did 1 30-inch ruffle with mesh sort of like this. We did 2 15-inch ruffles and 3 10-inch ruffles, and line them up right side by side, and on the wreath you couldn't tell the difference. So the fewer cuts you have will help reduce raveling. All mesh ravels. No matter what you do, you're going to have some raveling. But the more cuts you make in your mesh and the more you handle your mesh, the more raveling. So we don't typically spray our wreaths with anything. People are asking that all the time. I have paper mesh. I have sprayed with Elmer's Craft Bond spray adhesive, but I've not tried that on deco mesh. You just have to try it, experiment with it, and see what you thought. But for my purposes, the raveling's not that bad. Helps when you got helper, my assistant. Get you a little apron
I
to
do
wear.
have an apron.
Really, she's the boss. I'm the helper now. We've just experienced a role reversal. But I'll always be your mama.
Ain't that the truth?
She's the boss.
I ain't the boss of nothing.
She is the boss. I can come and go as I please now. I may come by the shop, do a little bit, or not, go to lunch with my friend. You looking for comments?
I am.
We just got through doing a Facebook Live. I saw Carrie looking at her phone.
I'm
She's
looking to see.
see if anybody's commenting.
Well, AJ just texted me about his
Okay.
haircut. So.
I like this mesh. I like the copper. This is a really good mesh for fall. It's good for Christmas too, but that copper just sparkles.
Sparkly.
I got glitter on me. I noticed, I looked in the mirror a while ago and I got a big clump of glitter in my eyebrow. I don't know how it got in my eyebrow, but it gets everywhere. We get home at night and just glow in the
Into the
dark.
strip club.
Ruffle down. Need a And there's our wreath after we've gone all the way around the outer ring with one ruffle, one 30-inch ruffle. Now we're going to move to the inner ring and do the same thing, same size ruffle. Just going to open up a twist, doesn't matter where you start. Make the same kind of ruffle, just lay that down. Secure the twist, again with just a couple of turns because we've got some ribbon we're going to add into it. And you can make this same wreath out of lots of different colors of mesh. And that's one reason, even when we do a tutorial and the products sell out, the exact products sell out that we use, we leave the tutorial up because you can follow these same basic directions and just, pick out different mesh, different color wreath, a different sign, and just, follow the same technique. Stay with the same size product. I would not recommend splitting a 21-inch mesh, a 21-inch mesh to get 10-inch ruffles because, again, the more cuts you have, the more raveling you'll have.
And this 10-inch has a selvage edge.
Has a selvage edge. It does. Didn't mention that. Scrunch it through the middle with your selvage edge to the outside. I learned that in home ec.
I did not.
Selvage? Did you have home ec?
Yes.
What'd you make? I don't remember.
A mess.
We had to make.
We had to cook.
Well, we did too.
We didn't have to sew.
We sewed. I mean, I made a blazer and a lined blazer.
Oh, I'd still be in there.
Had to set sleeves in.
We just had to cook.
Boys didn't have to take home ec when I went to school.
There
They
were
did.
boys in there with us. I mean, I don't think they had to.
They didn't at my school. I don't think they could have if they wanted to.
They don't offer it anymore. I mean,
Well,
in
they
our
should.
school.
They should. They should make everybody take it.
They should make them do
Make them learn how to make up a bed. We had to do that. We had to make up beds in home ec. Oh yeah.
No. We had to cook. That was our main thing.
We cooked. We did too.
That was when it was first starting to be the World Wide Web was coming around. these folks were going to have jobs on the internet.
My first experience with the internet was when I was in graduate school. And I'm a nurse, Carrie's a nurse, and that was the last one. We had to, long distance now, I had to dial in to the University of Mississippi, long distance, to get into their library to look at articles. I didn't dare try to look at anything else on the internet because I was on long distance. So there's our wreath after we finish the ruffles. We've got 30-inch ruffle, in each twist. Okay. We're going to do a test strip on our ribbon. Well, this one we've already cut, so it's always good to do a test strip before you cut up all your ribbon. I'm thinking we're probably going to need about 12 inches on this. That didn't go 12. So we'll just kind of cut one piece and see how it's going to look. See if it's going to be long enough. There's lots of different ways to add your ribbon. You can do, the simplest way is to do ribbon strips. But you can make loops or small bows. You can put a bow on at the end. But you always want to do a test ribbon to see before you start cutting up your ribbon. You don't want the ribbon to stick out you want it about the same size, stick out about like your mesh does, or just a little above it. You don't want it to be too short and not show. So 12 inches looks about right. So we're going to take our ribbon now and cut 12-inch strips. There's 18 twists on a wreath, so we're going to need 18 pieces of each ribbon. And we're just going to, you can always finish off the ends of your ribbon with a chevron cut. I think for this wreath, I'm just going to do an angled cut. Let me cut a piece though and show you how to do that in case you wanted to do that. But you just take a piece of ribbon. This is a little more than 12 inches. And you fold it. And then you fold it again lengthwise. And then you cut along that folded edge away from you. And then when you open it out, you have your ends chevron or dovetail. For this wreath, I think we're just going to cut them all at an angle. Okay, so we've cut 18 pieces of each ribbon. We cut the strips 12 inches in length. So she's just going to pick up a 2.5 inch, a 1.5 inch, 2.5 inch, and a 1.5 inch. And like I say, you can add your ribbon any number of ways. But I'm going to open the twist, make sure the ruffle stays in place. Take the ribbon cluster, kind of lay it down. Now this time I'm going to close that twist back with 3 or 4 turns because I'm finished with it. But then when I finish it, I'm going to spread my ribbons out so they're all 4 of them showing. And when you hold them in your hand, you can kind of spread them out like that. Just kind of pinch them all together. But it's very important that you open up a twist, put your ribbon cluster down, and then close it back. If you don't, your ribbons will be too far to the top of your mesh, and they'll pull out to me. But you can experiment with it. Like I said, you might rather have loops, you might like to have a few bows, you might rather just have a couple of big bows or one big bow. You have ribbon left over of each style, so you've got enough left over if you wanted to add an additional ribbon to the additional bow to the end, you can. But we're going to put a cluster in each twist on the inner and the outer ring. Now that's a ribbon cluster in each twist around the inner ring, and now we're going to move down to the outer ring. Do the same thing. Open up your twist. Same ribbon cluster. Close that twist back with 3 or 4 turns. Spread those ribbons out. Now you'll have to fluff your ribbons more than once. As you're working with it, you'll bend some of them down. So you'll have to hang it on the wall when you're finished. Clip your strings and straighten your ribbons. Okay, and we'll do some more straightening of our ribbons when we're finished, but right now we've got a ribbon cluster in each twist. And like I say, we'll have to kind of smooth those out when we're completely done. Clip our strings. Now, the next thing we're going to do, and sometimes you have to kind of take your wreath from the back and kind of push your ruffles back out toward the front, kind of open up that center a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to take our sign and we're going to kind of position the sign on the front. We don't want it to be buried down in the mesh. But I'm going to take this wire hanger and just use a piece of wire. We just attached the sign using a chenille stem, using the wire that was on the sign, and attached it pretty close to the top. You'll just have to hang it on the wall or door. Pretty much you have to hang it on the wall and kind of get in front of it to kind of see how you want to position it. You don't want to squeeze it, push it down too far into the wreath where it, flattens things out. You want to kind of position it on the top, and there's a couple of places here, there's a couple of wires that you can use to attach it if you need it more secure. So that's it. Just fluff out all your ribbons, check the back of your wreath and make sure you don't have any sharp objects that might scratch your door, and let's measure it. Clip your strings, and it works best, let's do it from the back. It works best if you clip strings.
Well, about 29 if it's...
So 28, 29 inches. It all depends on how much you add to your wreath, your ribbon strips and so forth. Make sure all your ribbon strips are turning face up and smooth those all out. Clip your strings instead of pulling. And we'll have the supply list on this tutorial for you. And these supplies will be in a kit.
They will.
So you can just do a one-click purchase at Trendy. And there you go. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thanks for dropping in. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next video coming out. We have several Christmas things that we're going to do, and we're doing some Facebook Live, so follow us on our Facebook page too. Bye-bye.